It's Monday motivation. Let's represent. Let's get ready. Let's get serious. Let's get motivated. God bless you. I'm Lady and Rev. For some people that are new to me, Monday motivations are something that I'm passionate about. I feel like Monday is that day of the week where everybody drags and you're like, oh, it's Monday. I can't wait till Friday. And I just feel like we need to take a different approach to our whole entire week. And then if we begin to look at Monday in a different way, then Tuesday will be better and Wednesday will be better. And then we're no longer just working to get to the weekend. So that's why I created Monday motivations. A lot of people do Monday motivations in general or just have their motivation period. But for me, this is what these videos represent. What I wanted to talk about is moving through obedience. Being able to move through obedience, being bold in your obedience on the journey. And for me, it's almost approaching a year when I have officially been living in New Jersey, which I'm happy to be home in New Jersey. New England will always be home. And sometimes I run into folks and they're like, you might as well move back. And, you're always here. I'm actually not always there. There were a few months I was not at all in New England. But when you're a minister and you're still in the New England conference, it's called accountability. And ministry is alive and well for me through God's blessing. And that's something that is not a 9 to 5. That's a part of who I am. But when you're obedient to the call on your life and when you're obedient to instructions spiritually, because it was clear instructions for me of when to move, what I had to do, so much so that I even had saw in a vision about giving my notice to my job and everything. Like I saw all these things in a dream and everything. You couldn't have told me 2 years ago that New Jersey would be where God had for me to be. But you need to be careful to be able to move on God's obedience and not yours. And what I mean by that, and let me be clear, first of all, I'm Lady in a Rev, and I believe in my journey is Christianity, and I believe in the blood of Jesus, and that is who I am, and I am not going to apologize for that. So, anybody is welcome to Monday Motivation, but please know that with that, you will get a dose of some Jesus, because that is who I am, and ministry, this is about ministry for me and saving souls through this venue, is Monday Motivation. But what I mean by that is you need to be clear around your obedience. So we need to be able to hear what God is telling us and not what other people and situations and circumstances are telling us. Because sometimes we might think that something is for us because it looks good, it sounds good, and we want change right now, and we're just trying to run to something fast. But when you move ahead of God, or you try to move behind in a situation or circumstance, that's when hear me now, that's when unnecessary failures occur and disappointments and setbacks occur. Now, when you're going through the time of being obedient to God's instructions in your season, you are going to deal with a lot. You are going to experience some hell. You are going to go through some pits at times. You are going to have ugly parts of yourself unveiled. There were so many things that I learned about myself in different layers. Not that I necessarily never looked at these layers, because I looked through these layers throughout the years, but sometimes the layers go untouched. Sometimes we don't dust between those layers. We just clean the surface of things, and we're not literally lifting up those situations and circumstances in our life. And it's the same thing spiritually when you begin to look. And I'm here to tell you, when you're obedient to what is for you, not for somebody else, because you have to be very careful that you are not walking in somebody else's territory and something that somebody else is supposed to do on the journey. You need to be obedient to when God tells you to make a move, literally, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever that looks like for you. Some of us are still in complacent situations because we have not been obedient. We're too busy listening to what everybody else is telling us, and we're too busy influenced emotionally to situations and people who can't help you anyway. See, it is really important that when you begin to operate in that obedience, who's around me? Who's around me that's offering me wisdom? Who's around me that's going to help pull me up when I don't feel like pulling up somebody else? Who's around me that's going to help me literally restructure and help me rebuild? Who's around me that are the hunter and gatherers? Who are around me that are positioned to be leaders? You need to know who's around you. See, what I did that was really effective, and thanks be to God, is that I literally said last year is that I don't have a table, period, for anybody to sit at. physically, emotionally, mentally, because literally I got up and moved. But I spiritually said, I am rebuilding. And in the rebuild, there is no automatic position in my life at this point. Okay, so in the rebuild, it is important that you begin to look at the infrastructure. What is the infrastructure? What is the foundation? What are the roots that need to be pulled up in your life? You need to pull up some roots, and some things need to be watered, and some things need to be reseeded in your life if you want things to be effective. And if you want to be, oh Lord, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, and I say that often. And I say this to tell you this: when you have a servant's heart and you have a willingness to be a participant on this journey, and you really, really are effectively serving others outside of yourself, and you don't have motives and wrong intentions, God will carry you through it if we just listen to that still small voice that is helping, ailing us through it. So I'm Lady and the Reverend. I'm here to tell you on this Monday motivation is that we have to be faithful. Abraham was faithful. He was willing when God said go. And I'm telling you, I had my Abraham experience, and I'm still experiencing, still getting ready to continue to just embark on different parts of my journey and getting back on my own and all these things that God is speaking into me. It is important that you take some time to do some internal work. What are areas that you need to clean up for yourself? Stop worrying about what other people got going on. And if they offended you, lay them at the altar. Keep it moving. See, my attitude and my energy right now is that I don't have time to be focused on that. I'm trying to be focused on being a better person, a better energy. So when I begin to encounter somebody else, that I can help them see what they're going through. And I had that experience tonight, and I was able to speak to this woman, and genuinely, because I knew her frustration had nothing to do with me. I knew that it was coming from somewhere else. And sometimes life just begins to weigh us down, and things frustrate you and they annoy you. Take a breath, take a break. It's Monday. Let's get it going. It's Monday motivation. I'm Lady in the Rev. I truly love you from the bottom of my heart with all of my being. If you need anything, I am here for you. I believe in deliverance. I believe in people getting healed and helped out here. So please hit me up, inbox me. It is private. God bless you all. I hope that these are helping someone. I hope that these are touching someone. I'm just doing what God is calling me to do and trying to be consistent and effective with Monday motivation. God bless you all. Love you very much.